Welcome to the new Embrace Grace, Help Her Be Brave podcast show, where you get great ideas on how you can help save lives. I'm Amy Ford with Embrace Grace.
And I'm Jessica Russo with Embrace Grace.
And we are kind of just, this might be like our favorite guest ever, only because we're very partial. Well, actually, I'm going to have my son on. I don't, that's one. But besides, she's like a daughter to both of us, probably, or a sister, maybe. We're not that old, right?
We're young.
Yeah. But her name's Madeline, and she went through Embrace Grace, and she received a love box that really helped her pause with her decision on whether she should have this abortion or not. But she was determined, had it scheduled, paid for, was going to do it. But this love box helped
inspire her choice for life.
Yeah. And so it's amazing to see how now she is using her story to help save more lives and help get these Embrace Grace groups going around the nation. And she's the best. You know, sometimes people kind of clam up when you ask them to tell her story, but like even as people like tour our offices, we're like, here's Maddie, tell your story. And she's like, okay, let's do it.
She's the introvert that can turn it on real quick.
Yeah, she is. She is selective, what we said, introvert qualities, which is funny, which makes it more special when she actually does spend time with you, because you're like, I'm important. But she's amazing. So let's bring her on. Hey, Maddie.
Hi.
Hello. So we're going to give everybody an inside tip. So we're in this room, but Maddie literally is like the next room. Like she's in the building. But this is the way we do our podcast, so it works out fine.
Let's do it.
So Maddie works with us at Embrace Grace, and she is amazing. And it's kind of cool even for her working with us, because she went through Embrace Grace and she got a love box, which we're going to talk about here in a minute. And so it's like she's our everyday reminder of why we do what we do.
Yes, every day, Maddie.
And her little boy, Mateo, who is so cute. Okay, so I would tell it, but you tell it way better. So tell your story and how you even started working here at Embrace Grace.
So, is it the first love box? Is it one of the first love boxes?
Yeah, it was the tester.
Yeah, I got a tester love box. And it wasn't a box, it was a bag. And I got it from my sister after I told her that I was pregnant. And so I'm going to go back a little bit. When I found out I was pregnant, I didn't tell anybody. And I went straight to finding a place to get an abortion. And it was actually really hard for me to find. So I had to go to a friend of a friend, and she gave me this number. And so I went to this abortion clinic, and I had to go there one time for like a bunch of like testing and, I don't know, procedural like process stuff. And then that's when I scheduled my appointment for the actual procedure. And at that point, I only told my best friend, and she said, she was really supportive and loving, but she said that she would take me to the procedure and pick me up from the procedure. And so everything was set. I didn't have to tell anybody that I was pregnant or anything like that. And so it was just kind of the way that I wanted it, because I wanted this whole situation to just be my burden to bear. Like, I didn't want anybody else to feel sorry for me or to feel like they played a part in this. Like, it was just all on me. So my best friend ended up calling me the day before my procedure and bailing on me. She had a great excuse, but still put me in a tough spot. So I had to think of the next best person to tell, and that was my sister. And when I called my sister and asked her if she would take me to a doctor's appointment, she was like, yeah, sure. Are you sick? Like, what's going on? You don't feel good? And I was like, no, I'm pregnant. And she was so excited for me, so excited. She was also pregnant at the time. And so she was like, our kids are going to grow up together. It's going to be so amazing. And I didn't have that excitement at all. And so I had to cut her and say, hey, no, this is for an abortion procedure. And they're just like, I think that silence was really hard. She was just like, this is not just, you get an abortion and then it's over. And I was like, yeah, I've already thought through all of this. I'm ready to deal with the consequences later. And so she was like, hey, I guess if that's what you want to do, like, I'll be there for you. But kind of hung up, and it was really awkward and really weird. But she was like, tell me where to pick you up and what time. So that night, she texted me, and it was like 8 o'clock at night, and she was like, hey, I have a present for you. And I'm like, great, come over, bring your present. And she comes over, and I open the door for her, and her face is like red and puffy. Like I could just tell she's so distraught. And of course, my sister's pregnant, right? And so for me to think that I put her through that kind of distress, like that was so hard. And she's like, I just have this little present for you, and then I'll leave. And so she sits down with me, and she hands me this bag, and she goes, I want you to open the bag, but I want to read you the letter. And I'm going through this bag, and everything is grateful this and grateful that. And I'm just like, I don't feel like a brave girl. I'm not accepting it. Like, I'm just 100% rejecting it. Like, you don't know what I've done. And so she reads me this letter, this really heartfelt letter that she did not write. Somebody else wrote it. And it was just saying, like, you're going to be an awesome mom. And I know you've already paid for this. Like, let us help you. And it was a really incredibly supportive letter. And then my sister kind of added her own little end of it. And she's like, you're already an amazing aunt. And it's going to be good. And I just kept saying, you don't know what I've done. And this baby is going to ruin people's lives. And I just need a second chance. I just need one more fresh start to start over. And she was like, okay, well, I can't make you not have an abortion, but I just want you to know that, it's not over after this. So that love box sat on my bedside. And inside of it, I did get the Bump in Life book. And so I couldn't sleep that night at all. Like, I was like, 8 hours before my abortion appointment. And I couldn't sleep. And so I just stayed up all night reading A Bump in Life. And it was like the first time I started to think, okay, these girls have been through some stuff. These girls are choosing life for their babies, whether that's the place for adoption or the parent. Like, they've been through some really tough situations, and my situation's not that tough. I made a bad choice. Like, I did this, and now I'm saying, what am I saying now by saying I'm going to go have an abortion? And these girls didn't have abortion. So I think at that point I finished the book. Whole night I finished the book. I then Googled what an abortion was and just felt sick to my stomach. And was like, I can't. I don't think I can do this. But I was planning to go through with it anyway, just because I was so afraid of people finding out what I had done. So next day I went to work a half day because I was like, my life is going to be normal. It's going to stay normal, and nobody's ever going to find out about this. So I went and worked a half day, and my sister was waiting outside of my job for me when I got out of work. And I got in the car, and she was so mean to me. She was like, you're going to have to tell me where to go. And I was like, okay. And I'm scrambling on my phone, and it was just like, all of a sudden, I'm bawling in the parking lot. I can't make a decision. I know I don't want to do this. And so I just started crying. I was like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And she starts crying, and she's like, you have no idea how many people are praying for you right now. And she was just elated. And she was like, what do you want to do now? You want to go back to work? And I was like, I'm not going back to work. I need to tell somebody. And it was my mom. I went and told my mom. And I just remember when I told her, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was apologizing to her for being pregnant. And she was like, you have nothing to be sorry for. You're going to be a good mom. And so that was just kind of how I got a love box. It purely through telling the right person, and her saying, I can't let my sister go through with it.
I will never forget that day.
Yeah. And the story never gets old.
Yeah.
Even though I hear it all the time. Like, it's so amazing.
Oh my goodness. Like, I remember that day. I didn't even know who it was, but I remember you, Amy, asking everybody to pray for this single girl that was abortion determined. And like, there was just something about, I mean, we pray for lots of people, like anybody who is abortion determined. We're praying for them for bravery in their hearts, but there's something about that day that I just will never forget. And so every time I'm having a hard day, I just like roll back my chair, I lean over and look at Maddie, and that is why we do what we do every single day.
Yeah, she's like our mascot.
Do you ever feel like that, Maddie? Like you're our mascot?
I've always wanted to be a mascot. So
Oh, there you go.
I love it.
There you go. Okay, so then she went through Embrace Grace, and I love your one of your quotes. I remember you wrote me like a letter or testimony or something, and you've always been such a great with your words, like great writer, great speaker. And you had said that Lovebox saved my baby and Embrace Grace saved me. And I love that. It's always stuck with me. And then you would come up to the office and put together love boxes, like after you had your baby and were volunteering and serving and putting them all together. And you would just like spark conversations with other volunteers that were up there doing the same and telling your story of like, I got one of these and this helped save my baby. And you were always, and then like when we would have big volunteer events, like where maybe, 50 people would come to put together love boxes, we're like, oh, Maddie's here. Let's get her to speak to everyone. And you always were like, I'm down. Like you'd get up there and you'd tell everyone. And then we're like, I think we need to give her a job because she's kind of amazing. So, and the rest is history. And now, so what do you do here at Embrace Grace?
So now I work with group leaders, pray with them. I've led groups now, so I have this perspective from a bloom and this perspective from a leader where the leader is like, my things is not connecting. Like I can speak to that and say, let's put yourself in her shoes for just a minute and just like go through that, and just really focus on the planting seeds and so just supporting them and connecting with them and asking for updates on when is the next group starting.
And you're so good
like
at it.
that, but it's just all relational
with
group leaders and blooms.
So what do you think that it is about the love box that makes it work? I mean, obviously it doesn't work 100% of the time, but what do you think it is that makes people stop and pause about a possible changing their mind on a decision?
I think for me, it was in my head, this was the worst possible thing that could have happened. In my head, this baby was really going to ruin people's lives, and then you start to see this different side of it, and you're like, wait a minute, but this is a baby, right? And there's somebody who's supporting me and somebody who's giving me something tangible that I can hold on to as a gift. And I don't want to say that then I didn't feel bad, but then I just felt like, wait, there's another side to this. There's this glimmer of hope that maybe somebody will accept me and not completely judge me and write me off for all the terrible things that I've done. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
And can you believe, I know we always say every baby's cute, but your baby, literally is the cutest thing ever.
Adorable.
And to think, that the thoughts and how the enemy and fear lies to us and tells us, that our baby's going to be a burden or whatever. And he's the most amazing miracle.
Yeah. And I think when you don't know the difference between your voice, God's voice, and the enemy's voice, they all sound the same. And you don't know what to trust, right? Because it's all in your own head.
Right.
And so whatever you build up in your head, that's the truth, right? And so when you don't know that difference, you just believe whatever is manifesting inside of your brain.
Yeah. And the love box is a great way to just stop and think for a second, I remember one time when I was speaking at Babes, which is this chicken place here in Texas that is amazing. And the owners are partners with Embrace Grace. And so I was doing a tour of going around and talking to the different waitresses and telling them about Embrace Grace so that they know in case they ever met anyone that's pregnant. So I met a girl. She's like, oh, I am pregnant. And I was like, oh, well, let me get you a love box. She's like, no, I already got one. I got one at the pregnancy center. And I was like, well, how did it make you feel? And she looked at me and she said, it made me feel like there was someone out there in the world that actually was happy for me. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, even if it's just that, like, it feels like a gift, you know? And then I was like, well, then you need to go to an Embrace Grace group. She's like, oh, I already got the card inside and I already called and I'm signed up to go. And I'm like, the system works. How great is that?
That's so awesome. And I think too, like, obviously my sister was really supportive and my family was really supportive, but it's just something that's like outside of your family. Like, you feel like your family has to support you, but like when it's Embrace Grace, it's like an unbiased support, and it's really kind of what you want.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Jessica taking a quick break from the podcast to invite you in on something exciting. Are you looking for a way to give back this holiday season? We would love to invite you to donate to Embrace Grace as part of your end of the year giving. Every dollar that's donated to Embrace Grace not only saves lives physically, but eternally. You get to make an impact on 2 heartbeats at one time. Visit www.embracegrace.com/donate to learn more.
Yeah. So what are all the ways that people can get involved with Love Box? Like, what are the ways to do something with their hands? Or obviously giving is a huge thing too, but how can people help with that?
Yeah, so one huge thing, and it's a really fun thing, is Post to Share the Love. And that's where your church or you or your group, your small group can purchase love boxes and assemble them and take them to a pregnancy center that has an Embrace Grace group in the area and gift them to the pregnancy center. And it's really fun. That's one of those big events you're talking about that I went to and assembled boxes and was just talking to everybody there. It's a great way to bring awareness to what's going on in the area and in churches and in pregnancy centers, because a lot of people don't know what pregnancy centers are. They confuse it with Planned Parenthood. They have different missions. And pregnancy centers are typically pro-life. Another way is
writing Dear Brave Girl
get
letters.
Involved. Yeah, writing Dear Brave Girl letters, and that's something that you can go on our website. Is that still available? To download a Brave Girl letter, and then you can print them off and write them and mail them to the office, and we can put them in love boxes. Letting your local pregnancy center know what Embrace Grace is so they can get love boxes. That's another way. And then just being aware of your surroundings. I feel like Amy, every day you meet somebody who's female pregnant. Every time you go out to eat or wherever, Amy's always got, I'm going to get you a love box.
Yeah, you got to have you can buy some online and you can have them in your car in case God brings you someone that needs an instant encouragement. And I think those are all really great. So the Share the Love, where you can have a love box packing party at your church, writing the Dear Brave Girl letters that are on our website, which that's embracegrace.com/love box. You can just print the template right there, and you can do 1 or you can do 100. Yes. You could get your small group. You could get your business. Yeah. We've seen universities do them, like Students for Life or high school kids, youth groups, write them. And it goes inside the love box. So you get to speak life into someone that just found out that they're pregnant. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty powerful the scripture says that life and death are in the power of our tongue. So that is one component of the love box. And then also buying some, having them online, having them in your car just in case. And then also making sure your pregnancy center knows about it. If an Embrace Grace group is within 20 to 30 miles of their center, they get free love boxes. And so making sure they know about it, especially if you want to start an Embrace Grace group, then you can go connect to your pregnancy center and say, hey, did you know you get free love boxes? Because basically the point of it is it's an invitation tool. It's a tool for the girl to receive the gift and look at it, but hopefully be inspired to join an Embrace Grace support group at a local church in their area. And so quickly their pieces are inside are A Bump in Life book, True Stories of Hope and Courage During an Unplanned Pregnancy. It is stories of girls that chose life from there's date rape, preacher kids, girls and drugs, baby daddy shot and killed. And they're all real, like real stories of girls that have gone through Embrace Grace and their lives have been changed by their life decision. There's
the onesie, best gift ever.
Yes, it's so cute, and you can buy.
Adorable.
Yeah, and it's a great like tangible visual of like there is a baby.
And you can even buy those separately on our online store.
Yeah, it's a great like baby gift.
So cute.
Fearless journal, the pen, the invitation, all of these are put together in a beautiful wrap, and just hopefully like will cause the woman to pause and just think through, and maybe to inspire a life decision, or maybe if she already has, maybe she just needs some encouragement and support, and some just kind of that little push, and that you can do this, because there's great testimonials inside and everything. So there's lots of ways that people can get involved with love boxes on our website. And are we missing anything? It's such a fun tool. Like, I think and obviously if you're here in the local Dallas-Fort Worth area, you can always come up here and put together love boxes. And you can
donate directly to the Love Box Fund as well. Mm-hmm. So we gift these boxes to pregnancy centers. So our donors raise the funds for these so that it's not a cost for the pregnancy center, as this great invitational tool to get girls connected with a spiritual family at a local Embrace Grace support group. So embracegrace.com/donate, you can designate funds straight to that.
Yeah. And also, if you just hear of someone that maybe has an abortion scheduled or in a tough spot and not really knowing what to do, you can always call our offices and we can get them sent out
immediately.
Yeah. So, well, Maddie, you are amazing. And
we love you.
Yeah, you're always and forever our favorite. And I can't believe Mateo's 4 years old now. And
oh my goodness. Yeah. And all that curly, sweet hair.
I can't either.
I know. So sweet. But thank you so much for joining us. And we really appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, of course. Thank you guys.
Okay. Bye.
I am so proud of that girl and the way that she uses her voice to inspire others to choose life, and empowering them to help others be brave in their choice for life.
For real. I mean, just her story alone has helped inspire not only people to get involved in the pro-life movement or lead Embrace Grace groups, but also just to, I think she's helped save lives by her story, and how God's connected her to people that are in that situation of what should I do. And her story is such a tangible story of hope. You know, if God can help her, then maybe God can help me too. And it's been awesome. And how amazing courage that her sister, who's younger than her, you know, had the courage to reach out to me to say, I don't know what to do.
Right.
You know, what do I do? How do I talk to my sister? It almost feels like an Esther moment or something, you know, where she's like advocating on behalf of her sister, saying that, and saying we need to save, we
have to do something.
We have to do something. And I'm just super proud of her. Like both of them, Maddie and her sister Andy, they are amazing. And so I just can't wait. But I think this Love Box program is so powerful. Yeah. You know, we used to give pregnancy centers flyers to give to the girls, like, hey, there's an Embrace Grace support group up the street at a church near you that wants to love on you. And I think that's great, but they also get a lot of flyers.
Yeah.
So it just ends up like
being trash.
Yeah. In the floorboard of their car, whatever, because they're in crisis mode.
Yeah.
So
I'm single. I just found out I'm pregnant, and now you give me papers. What do I got to do with this?
And like, this is the cutest gift ever. Like, you can't throw this away.
Yeah, it's a present. Nobody throws away a present. And I love the Love Box because when I describe it as like something that has weight. So it feels like it's valuable. And if you give something freely that has value and worth, then that speaks value and worth to the person receiving it, right?
Yeah, for sure. They feel like they're important and their baby's important. And so that's our heart. So it's awesome. The miracle stories that come in from this program is pretty powerful, and it never gets old. Like, it's amazing to hear all of the lives that are saved, and even the healing that happens, I think, too, with women maybe that have experienced an abortion as they're writing the Brave Girl letters and things. Like, there's something healing that it's for everyone. Everyone has a place. Even we've had little kids write the Brave Girl letters. We've had men write the Brave Girl letters. We have power in our tongue, and that means written as well. So
we've all got a place in this movement.
We all have a part to play in this to help save lives. Yeah. which is why we're here and why we're doing this show. So we hope that you got inspired by the Love Box. That's just an easy thing that you guys can do, especially with the writing letters. I mean, you can do as many as you want. Send them into our Embrace Grace offices. Our address is on our website, embracegrace.com. And
we love getting those packages.
I know. They're so sweet. All the letters.
We love reading them when they come in.
We do have to make sure they're not weird, though, because we do have some people that like to send interesting ones that we put in our discard pile. So but
there's not many of them.
There's not many. There's just a few that's like, this isn't that encouraging, actually. So anyways, make it into the good pile. Just say you can do it. You're going to be a great mom. It's not hard. It's not hard. Yeah. So go check it out. Let us know how you're making a difference. If you have new ideas or if you're getting involved with the Love Boxes, reach back out and let us know. We're so happy that you tuned in today. Have a great week.